Hello everyone to this tutorial about the dummy variables. Let's have a look at this example. We have this data set about 50 observations, about 50 companies. And in the first column, we have the R&D, the research and development expenses. In the second column, we have the administration expenses. In the third column, we have the advertising expenses. In the fourth column, we have the city where that company is located. And in the last column here is the profit that that company achieved. So for example, let's take the first company here. This company has this expenses on R&D, and this is the expenses on the administration, this is on the advertising, and this company is located in Paris, and this company has achieved this profit. The second company also the same thing. These are the first three expenses, and this company is located in Rome and achieved this profit, and so on. So let's say we need to build a regression model. In this case will be a multiple linear regression model because we have more than a variable. We have 4 variables to predict the profit. So let's say we put this value and this value and this value and this value on that multiple linear regression, and we need to predict the profit based on this dataset. For the first 3 variables, independent variables, we don't have any problem because they are numbers, all of them numbers. But when we stop here, we find we have something different. We have a city, and city is a categorical variable. So all of these variables in the beginning, the 3 first variables are numbers or numeric, but city is categorical of the nominal type. So how we are going to fit this value in our multiple linear regression? And the solution for this problem is the dummy variables. So dummy variables can solve this issue. And to create dummy variables, we should follow this step one by one. First thing, we need to add a number of columns to our data equal to the number of the values that we have in this categorical column. So let's say we have 4 cities: Paris, Rome, Frankfurt, and London. So the total values here are 4. We have 4 values. Okay? So we add here 4 columns, 1 for each value. 1 for Paris, 1 for Rome, 1 for London, and 1 for Frankfurt. And when the value appears here, we should add 1 under this value. For example, the city here is Paris. That means here the value should be 1 under Paris column. And all the other variables are zeros. The second value here is Rome. So we put 1 under Rome and zeros for other cities. And for Frankfurt, the same thing, we put 1 under Frankfurt here and zeros for others, and the same thing for London. So this is the first step. The second step in building or adding our dummy variables is removing this column. Is no longer required in our data set to create our multiple linear regression. So this column should be removed. And in the third step, which is very important, we should consider removing one of the variables when we create our multiple linear regression. For example, here we have, starting with the dependent variable that we want to predict here, the profit, and we have x1, x2, x3, which are the 3 numeric variables, the 3 independent variables. And also we have x4, x5, x6, and x7. These are the dummy variables that we created. Always we should skip or remove one of them when we create our multiple linear regression. So we can skip any of them, that's up to you. In this scenario, for example here, I decided to remove the last one, the x7, which is Frankfurt. So I only kept x4, x5, and x6. So just keep in mind, each time you should remove one of the variables and keep the other. So the number of dummy variables every time should be n, which is the number of variables minus 1. So for example, here we have 4 variables. So 4 minus 1 is 3. So this is 1, 2,